Okay, Jack, the rumor is that you possess the rare ability to give a nearly flawless impression of a cat. How did you acquire this skill?
Well, sir, who told you that?
What's going on, everybody? For the New River Battalion, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Harrison, and you're watching Torched Ones, the show where we have answers to your burning questions and even hotter wings. Today, we're joined by 3 members of our Ranger Challenge team who just happen to be the top 3 of Ranger Company. They all want to be infantry officers, and that is the right answer. Isaiah Gerhardt is from Cobleskill, New York, and currently serves as the Ranger Company commander. He ended up here because of the Army ROTC program's reputation and the opportunities that a senior military college provides. He's a graduate of the Basic Military Mountaineering School as well as Advanced Camp and is an active member of Valor VT. He's also an all-around good dude. Jack Evans is from Bethel Park, PA, a stone's throw from Blitzburg, and he is the Ranger Company XO.
Hell yeah.
He ended up here for generally the same reasons as Isaiah, but specifically he was drawn to Ranger Company. He's an Air Assault and Advanced Camp graduate, a well-known gym rat, and a notorious auto enthusiast. John Maddock is from Columbia, South Carolina, home of Fort Jackson. He's the Ranger Company First Sergeant, also an Air Assault School graduate, and hopes to attend CTLT next summer after he conquers Advanced Camp 24. He has the distinction of being a member of the most organizations out of the Ranger Company top 3, and I have no idea how he has time to do it all. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. What's your experience with spicy food?
So I did the Blazing Challenge at Buffalo Wild Wings, finished all the wings in a minute and a half, and I've eaten a full habanero pepper before. That's about it, sir.
How many wings is in the Blazing Challenge?
I think it's 10, sir.
That's pretty excessive. Good for you. Jack?
Well, my main experience really is just getting the hottest sauce I can get at Buffalo Wild Wings or any other restaurant I would go to.
Okay, so you guys are capsaicin addicts.
I like a little bit of spice, sir.
We'll see how it goes.
Isaiah?
Not me, sir. The extent to my spicy food is General Tso's chicken at Raaen on campus, so this is going to be quite the trip for me. So.
Well, kudos to you all for taking the plunge. This is going to be an adventure, especially for you, Isaiah, but it's going to be great. All right, you're going to start on the right, okay? Least dangerous to most dangerous. The first one is truff. Isaiah, that's you right there. Awesome. Enjoy.
It's pretty good. Oh no.
Spicy for me.
So the chicken or chicken tenders that my wife cut up and that my father-in-law was gracious enough to grill and smoke for us, so that's maple and hickory smoke.
Very nice. Tasty hickory.
So Isaiah, you guys returned from Ranger Challenge last Sunday. You did an AR on Friday.
Yes, sir. What's
What's your biggest takeaway from the experience as a participant?
Probably the biggest takeaway is just the importance of teamwork. I was a team leader, and just being able to work as a team, control all your elements, that was probably like one of our weaker spots going into it. And I think it was just honestly a great team building exercise. I got a lot closer to everybody on the team, but honestly, love the experience. That was my 4th year training up, and then my 3rd year actually doing it. So, yeah, I loved it every single year.
Yeah, there's nothing like a little bit of shared hardship to forge unbreakable bonds. Like, that is the secret sauce to our profession. It's doing that stuff together. Okay, Jack, the rumor is that you possess the rare ability to give a nearly flawless impression of a cat. How did you acquire this skill?
Well, sir, who told you that? So I had a roommate who lived, well, I guess a bud my freshman year, lived across the hall from me.
And Bud is how you refer to like your classmates, right? Your cohort
fellow
that's
rat,
going together.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, training company fellow rat. And he had a weird obsession with cats at the time. And one day he meowed at someone, and then from there I would just always meow at him. So kind of just stemmed from there. It spiraled out to the entire freshman class started meowing at me, and they'd meow at him especially.
Let's hear the famous meow.
Yeah, we gotta hear it.
He,
Hey, that's pretty good. My brother perfected the sound of this really obnoxious bird call when he was a cadet.
Yeah.
It would like echo off of the essentially the quad version, and it was like caw caw, and it sounded really really ridiculous.
You
So,
do it all the time.
right around taps, you'd hear it ringing out.
You'd open up the window.
Yep.
That's awesome.
All right. Is there anything you guys want to talk about before we jump up to the next level?
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I'm ready for another wing, sir.
Let's dig into it.
All right, you take that towel. What is this one called, sir?
This is the Los Calientes Rojo sauce. So this is one of the hot one sauces.
Okay. What?
Not enough on the wing.
Honestly, not as spicy as the first
That
one.
one's more mild than the first one, so.
Yeah.
It's not what science tells us, but I'm glad you enjoy it. John, tell us about how your summer raft guide experience happened. How'd you get into that? And then what will you never forget from that experience?
So yeah, I was a raft guide. I've been a raft guide the past 2 summers. Got into it because I really hated being a cashier at Publix when I was a senior in high school. Didn't get any Army school or anything after my freshman year. So I was like, what's a really fun job? What's a cool job? And I ended up being a raft guide. I went rafting when I was in 8th grade and just was like, what's something cool that I can do, sir? And that was it.
So where was this?
It's on the Chattooga River in South Carolina.
Okay.
Meet some interesting individuals, I'm sure.
Well, so like, what are things that you can share with us that like are unique to that life? I feel like like you said, you're gonna find some really interesting personalities that float on the river.
Yeah, for sure. There are definitely some interesting people. There are a lot of guys like me that just like being outside, and then there were a lot of people whose lives were devoted to being outside. I think one of my good buddies there only took 1 shower the whole summer.
That is disgusting.
The live in the car type. Yeah.
I almost died on the Arkansas River when I was a Boy Scout. We had a high adventure trip, and we were in Colorado, and we were doing the Devil's Cauldron is what this place is called, where the river like takes a very sharp turn. So as it turns left, as I recall, all the water's cycling through, so it creates this suction and undertow, significant undertow. And I like adjusted my foot under the gunnel right before we hit it, and the boat like shifted, and all of a sudden I was underneath holding my paddle going, this is not good.
Oh.
Did what I was trained to, put my feet downstream, held onto my paddle, got out from under the boat, and then got to a little safer spot, got pulled out by another crew, and then they threw me back into my boat. But it's like 80% of the deaths on that river happen right there, so I got pretty lucky.
I watched somebody get trapped under a boat once and not get pulled out.
That's not good.
Yeah.
I pulled somebody up from
Yeah.
underneath the boat this summer.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Pretty common. Isaiah, word on the street is you know how to set up a pretty good prank. I come from a family of pranksters, so I appreciate the good ones. What is your favorite that you pulled off?
So yeah, me and my roommate Chris Hall, shout out to Chris, but we have way too much free time on our hands.
How is that possible?
I think I know.
Okay.
This one.
But I mean, we do like the classic prank phone call. We've done that to a few people. Another one that we love is Chris bought a whole packet of just like white tighty whitey underwear and then Nutella, and smear some of the Nutella on the tighty whities, get a little wet, and then we went like snuck into one of our buddies' rooms and left it in his like laundry hamper, like obviously like somewhere where you could see it, and yeah, that was pretty fun. We also put one in another one of our buddies' gym bags, and it took them like a few days to find it, but yeah, I can't give too much away because we got some more pranks in the works. We also, yeah, so I do also have a tendency to make fake emails and just send people random emails about random topics. They're pretty fun.
All right. It is time. This is where it gets real. It's going to get fun. This is the Poirier's Creole Maple. It's the MMA fighter.
I still think the first one was the
Sweet,
hottest.
sweet off the bat. Definitely sweet off the bat.
Yeah.
Get hotter, sir.
I mean, you haven't eaten all of your food, so
The first one I think was.
I enjoy it.
At least
Very good.
initially, it's more spicy.
interesting. Some of these are a little longer burn. This one
Lumber.
take a little bit to kick in, but
Start-
it's really good. And you're right, it is sweet. That Creole maple parts.
I like the
tasty.
chicken. Like the chicken was well done too.
I'll give you my recipe. Okay, fellas, we're bringing back to date my favorite game, Spice Lords of Trivia. You all have to agree on your answer to 3 questions.
Okay.
If you get the answer right, you get a sweet reward in the form of a piece of candy. If you get it wrong, you have the opportunity to share an experience with 2 of your best friends by spinning the wheel of death and getting a new sauce.
Dramatic reverb.
I don't want to get it wrong, man. I want to try it.
I want to try those too.
Yeah.
I'm in danger.
Well, maybe we'll do that after. We'll play the game. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Best of
Roger that.
luck. All right. Now, question number 1.
All right.
Where does the phrase "Rangers lead the way" come from?
Do you want me to say?
I mean, if you know it, just say
So it comes
Oh,
from
yeah.
the D-Day
Yeah.
invasion.
Normandy.
Yeah,
Rangers were the first-
5th Ranger Battalion was sent to help support. I forget the unit. I think it's 29th Infantry Division, who was assaulting Utah Beach, and the leader of the 29th, they basically said to the commander of the 5th Ranger Battalion, Rangers lead the way, because they were sent in. I think it was, I don't remember which company, but they were sent first to assault those defenses.
Right on almost every particular. So I'm going to give you a check mark. Good job. It was Omaha Beach. You're absolutely right. It was the 29th Infantry Division Deputy Commanding General. They were called ADCs then. Brigadier General Coda, and his nickname was Dutch Coda. And he saw the son of a guy he knew. He'd grown up playing with General Coda's son, who was later a major general named Raaen. So Captain Raaen saw Brigadier General Coda, went up to him, reported. He's like, gave him his situation report. This is what's going on. This is my combat power. This is what we're here to do. And he goes, "Where's your battalion commander? I need to talk to him." So Captain Raaen points him in the direction of Lieutenant Colonel Schneider, who was commanding 5th Ranger Battalion at that time. And General Coda made his way in between the Rangers en route while they were under fire, mostly standing up because he was that kind of leader, and started by saying, "Hey Rangers, I know you're not going to let me down." By the end of it, he was saying things which essentially were remembered as Rangers lead the way. And they initiated movement through a breach and ended up changing the course of the entire invasion. And also that famous phrase came out of it. Fact for you to keep in mind, on one flank of the 29th Infantry Division, which is now the Virginia National Guard, was the 16th Infantry. Medal of Honor recipient Jimmy Monteith was over there from associated with this program, and from a regiment I commanded a company in. And on the other flank was the 116th Infantry, which is the Virginia National Guard, and Cap Bowen is a member of that. So it's kind of a cool link to that, to those facts.
I've actually visited those beaches too.
Oh, that's right. You
The
did.
Global Scholars Program.
So tell us what it was like to walk on hallowed ground.
It was eye-opening, to say the least. It was definitely a cool experience seeing just you hear all the stories about the invasions, and then
Movies,
the beaches,
books.
the books. Yeah,
You hear about your entire life. When
exactly.
I was a kid.
And then you to just sit there is definitely just wow, this is eye-opening. And then visiting one of my favorite parts was Point du Hoc, seeing that and going to the bunkers and visiting that spot. It was in the craters and all that. It was awesome. It was definitely just a humbling and cool experience to have.
Absolutely.
Was it oddly quiet?
Yeah, it was very somber.
Yeah.
There's a really cool interview that the American Veterans Center did on YouTube, if you want to look it up, with Major General retired Raaen about his experience, because he was the last surviving Ranger officer that was there on D-Day. So he did it at 101. Incredible interview. There's two parts to it.
I think I've seen the first part, sir.
Have you? Okay, check it out. We'll drop the links in the description. All right, let's move on to numero dos.
All right, second question.
What unit did Ranger Company founder Colonel Ole command just prior to Operation Eagle Claw? It's in your book.
It is in the
Your
book.
continuity book.
I know it's in the
Read
book
it.
because I've read it.
Hit it. He was a battalion commander.
3rd Ranger Battalion.
Yeah.
'Cause he stood up.
That's
I think so.
yeah.
He stood up right 3rd Ranger Battalion. You guys gonna settle that answer, Jack?
Yeah,
Third
he stood
Third
up.
Ranger Battalion, sir.
That is correct.
Yep.
3rd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. Well done. Yeah. Now, did you guys ever get to meet him, or did he pass away before you had the chance?
He's still alive. He's living in Arizona. Colin Donahue, who's a Ranger Company alumni, graduated. He just commissioned actually like this September.
Yep.
But he reached out to him I think last year. They exchanged a few emails and got some information from him, but he mostly likes to just stay like off the grid and do his own thing.
Live his
But,
life.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think the organization was a year or just no more than 2 years old when my dad came back to Tech as a cadet, because he ended up being the Ranger Company commander in the fall of '69 and then graduated in the spring of '70. But yeah, pretty cool to see direct history from there to now
Yes,
in the
sir.
form of you. So then, the last question. What year was the first modern Ranger Battalion founded?
I think we might be spinning the wheel here.
No. Hold on. Sometime was it in the 80s? I believe. I literally.
You guess, Jack.
There's like 20 different
Your guess is as
dates
good as mine.
on that webpage. I know where you pulled that from, sir.
Probably not. Maybe.
I'm probably completely off. I want to say 81.
You are off.
Yep.
All right, we are spinning the wheel.
All right.
1974.
Okay.
So it's worth considering. The Abrams Charter, which is the charge from General Creighton Abrams to the regiment and the battalions at the time, focused on creating a feedback loop of training excellence and expertise injected back into the greater Army in the post-Vietnam era. One of the reasons why the Ranger battalions were reactivated were the lessons learned from United States observation of the 1973 Yom Kippur War. Fast forward 50 years in one day, and the war between Israel and Hamas kicked off. And the point of that is, it's really important for us to pay attention to contemporary combat across the world and learn from things they are seeing and doing so that we can be better and not make the same mistakes and capitalize on the good lessons learned. That's one of the reasons why the regiment came back into being and has made itself essential to our way of fighting. Okay. Who would like to spin the wheel?
John?
I'm the
Take it, brother.
closest.
All right, Jack.
Go get it.
Is that the
Nice
whole one?
spin.
How unfortunate for you.
vibes.
That is taco vibes only.
Let's go.
Now, we've spun the wheel of death. It's landed on taco vibes only. Taco vibes only almost took out your buddies Garrett Moyer and Jerry Smith.
Yeah.
And John accidentally previewed a little bit a second ago. So let's see where this takes us. I'm joining you. Never leave a fallen comrade. Do it up. Some people think that taco vibes only is simple taco sauce. It is not.
Yeah, definitely not.
Cut my tongue during lunch today so I can feel it directly in the nerve. It's good. All right. Before we get to something similar, anything you guys want to talk about?
What was your hardest experience as a junior officer?
Ooh, great question.
Well, sir, to caveat that.
Okay.
Not only hardest, but most developing.
Most develop. Okay, so those are probably two different answers.
Okay, let's go with most developing, sir.
The most developing position or experience I had as a pre-command officer, so before company command, was being an executive officer.
Okay.
I went from being a platoon leader, where you probably need systems to be hyper successful,
Okay.
but sometimes you can just power your way through it. And direct individual leadership can overcome more or less any problem you're confronted with. As an XO, you try to solve problems that way, you're going to fail.
Right.
Because you're talking about 100 people at least that you've got to create success for. So it was making the mental transition from I can solve every problem given to me with my direct personal input to I need to set conditions for other people
Right.
to solve problems.
Right.
And that is really also, when you think way ahead in your futures, what the biggest difference between a company grade officer and a field grade officer is. Most of the time as a company grade officer, up through captain, you can solve most problems, again,
Yeah.
with direct involvement by a small group of people.
Internally. Yeah.
As soon as you put on major and above, it's all about the organization. It's all about indirect. Watch the eyes, watch the eyes. It's all about understanding what everybody else knows and figuring out how to share that information, because that's how you create success.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's interesting.
Okay, here we go. This is unique garlic. It's in the same neighborhood as Taco Vibes Only.
Roger that.
I think it's a little more tasty.
Okay.
Enjoy.
It does taste good. Garlic wings are some of my favorite. I do have to admit. Yeah, it definitely tastes better.
It did taste better.
The taco vibe just hit me, sir.
You're getting the second wave. This one builds a little bit. It's probably peaking right now. It'll stay there for a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll start to go down.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Now, Jack, you obviously know
Yes,
your
sir.
way around the weight room.
Yes, sir.
What do you think is the most overtrained exercise, and what should people spend a lot more time doing?
People overtrain chest and shoulders, and they don't focus on the importance of like all parts of the chest. They'll usually just train flat bench or things of that nature. A lot of people like to do barbell work, not dumbbells. So, also, additionally, I think holistic exercises like swimming with weight, running with weight, and then power cleans and deadlifts, so things that work your explosive power, will be the most transferable in anything military. Your deadlift and power clean really is where you get a lot of your explosiveness from.
Oh, yeah.
That will benefit squat, bench, any other lift that you have.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times when people bench, you'll see people they start to get hip drive. That's what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
It's because the lower half of your chest is much stronger than the upper half. And if you train deadlift and power clean properly, that's where all of your power comes from, is the ground, whenever you get leg drive. So, strong legs and strong core, strong lower body, then your bench and chest and a lot of things actually will increase to be a lot stronger than they previously were.
Yeah.
Whenever people peak or they hit a plateau, it's because their legs are actually too weak, not their chest.
I'm a firm believer that the Olympic lifts are what you should always go back to. Figure
Absolutely.
out where you are.
Yep.
And then you're fine-tuning in between. And having worked with some incredible athletes, I am not. I've taken away that you should never assume that you don't need to rehearse your form.
Yep.
You should never assume risk on your preparation. Especially as you get older, young men. I'll tell you right now, if
Yes,
you're not
sir.
doing yoga, you're wrong. Do it now to build your core and to protect your back from injury. I left Ranger School with an unrealized injury, probably a strain, which manifested into back spasms when I was running down Ardennes Street on then Fort Bragg, now Fort Liberty. Don't let that happen to you.
Roger that. Isaiah's loving it.
I'm sweating, man.
Me too, but I love
good.
it. It tastes. That garlic was good. I really do enjoy that garlic. That taco one's probably my least favorite.
I did not like the taco one at all.
Well, we got a little further to go. But before we do that,
Yes, sir.
John, what has most surprised you about your cadet experience in the New River Battalion?
Honestly, the environment, sir. I was expecting it to be like pretty strict, like straightforward military all the time. And one of my favorite parts about going to Ranger Challenge and hanging out with Ranger Company guys, hanging out with other guys in the New River Battalion is everybody's awesome. And I really wasn't expecting like this environment, sir.
So can you elaborate on that? Like, what about the environment is what you didn't expect, and how is it a positive thing?
I think it was noted a lot at Ranger Challenge. We'd pass every other team, and they looked down in the dumps. They looked like they were hating their lives. And we'd go past them laughing, clapping, having a great time. And I think that environment is what makes the New River Battalion really unique, sir.
Yeah, esprit de corps matters. Right? And part of it is accepting the challenge. Part of it is enjoying the moment, because these experiences, you can either sit there and mope about it, or you can embrace it and learn something from it. Tell me what this is.
Oh, jeez.
Jack, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so if you know certain individuals within the Navy battalion, sir, I'm sure you've heard of NSPT. Have you heard of them? No? So that's our pipeline directly for the naval program to get SEAL slots. Virginia Tech, underneath the Naval Academy, is the #1 school that gets Naval Special Warfare slots. So those individuals started doing that about 2 years ago. I'm friends with some of those gentlemen. They started doing it and kind of just transferred over to us.
What does it mean?
It's just like
Just clap it up, get happy.
like a one-handed clap.
Just clap.
Okay.
Yeah, just random shenanigans that happen late nights.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But it's an affirmation, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. at all.
This is good. We're enjoying
it's a good-
ourselves.
Yep. Clap it up.
There's a great picture that somebody snapped at Ranger Challenge. I assume it was Grace Shimkus with her camera doing all that awesome coverage of it's Carson Monarnock and I think Andrew Chun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like drinking water bottles, with the crossed
That you
arms.
gave us, sir.
With the Halo electrolytes in them, I think it
Yes.
was. And then Shannon Hutchins is in the background doing this. She's in focus. They're kind of out of focus. I think that captured the spirit of what you guys brought to the competitions. That was fun to see.
Definitely.
All right, gentlemen, this is what you've all been waiting for. We are to the top of the mountain. We're about to summit it. But before we do that, it is tradition around here to put a little something extra
All right, let's do it.
on the last dab. I will allow you to do your own dab. You modulate as much or as little as you are game for.
Had to show it off.
What is this one called, sir?
The last dab. Apollo.
It's called Apollo is the name of the sauce?
So it's made from the Apollo pepper. That's
Okay.
one of Smokin' Ed Curry's peppers. He also made the Carolina Reaper and Pepper X. And this one is, this was the season 21 and a couple before that, I believe, on Hot Ones is the final sauce. The newest one is Last Dab Experience. We haven't debuted that on Torch Ones yet. I've had it. It's on a whole new level. So we're gonna preview that very soon. All right, gentlemen, please safe that weapon system. It is absolutely the most casualty-producing weapon on this table.
It's cleared. All right, let's get it.
Well done. Best of luck. See you on the high ground.
All right, it's going to be hot. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, this is my absolute favorite part of doing the show. When we all get to this point, because I'm experiencing the same thing you're experiencing.
You just cover it so
And it's
much
just-
better, sure.
It's just there.
He doesn't even look like he's sweating.
You just gotta exist. The only difference is my cut tongue. That's really annoying right now. All right,
As I guess,
Isaiah. As the last dab Apollo tests our collective intestinal fortitude, figuratively and literally in this case, give us your best recruiting pitch for cadets in the battalion to come out for Ranger Company assessment in the spring.
Okay, so
don't mess this up, man.
Ranger Company has been the best organization and most rewarding experience that I've ever had here.
in my entire life, I grew up playing sports, part of a bunch of organizations in high school, was a peer tutor, but Ranger Company has been the organization where I've been able to learn the most, meet the best people, pour into the younger generations, and help out and teach the younger classes. Ranger Company has just been the best organization I've ever been a part of. I'm super thankful to be a part of this organization. Super thankful to have opportunities like this, and I highly suggest that anybody in the New River Battalion, whatever your MS class is, I highly suggest that you come out and be part of this awesome, amazing organization.
Well said. All right, Jack.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite memory from your cadet experience?
Probably
Sorry.
watching John sweat profusely. No, but in all seriousness, my favorite memory is probably assessment and just absolutely sucking with Isaiah and Devin and a couple other guys who are now graduated. But you mentioned earlier, sir, about shared suffering amongst team members, and I think that's one of the things also that sets us apart at Ranger Challenges. No other schools have teams. They don't have an actual company. They don't have Sunday meetings. They don't do things together. They don't have morale events together. They just strictly train for challenge, whereas we are more focused on being the best second lieutenants and officers we can be and prepping for Ranger School. And then that paired with our just immense history and all the great things that have come before us that we assess for and also to uphold and then pass on to the younger generation, new guys coming in. I think that's my absolutely most favorite memory is joining this company to uphold those things. My roommate at Aerosol actually was the SEAL Red Rangers. I talked with him extensively about it, and our average day is one of their assessment days. Like one of our track runs, they hold people.
Shots fired.
Well, it's just different organizations. They train for challenge specifically. Their company is not as in depth as ours. They don't get to go take FTXs to Dahlonega, Georgia, things of that nature. They're not focused primarily on that. They're focused on winning challenge. But they do have an extensive history, but they've just transitioned in modern times as compared to where we have stayed more true to our roots.
Cool. All right. John, you get to complete the Ranger mission right here, right now. How have you managed training for Ranger Challenge, being part of Ranger Company, participating in ordnance, the A Sig or Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity life, and your daily responsibilities as a cadet at a senior military college? Oh, and by the way, you're a student. How do you do it?
It's all about balance, sir. Obviously, I'm putting school first, making sure I get good grades for that. Ranger Challenge and Ranger Company second. And then I like to have a good time with my friends, sir. And that's just when I can have time to do that, I try to do it. So whether that's hanging out with the ordnance staff, hanging out with guys in ASIG, other stuff like that, I just try to find time to do it, sir. And usually I can. Sometimes I can't.
Roger that. Well, fellas, this is it. You made it to the end. I didn't see a sip of water or a sip of milk. I could have missed it, but kudos to you. Not everybody makes it there with style. This camera, this camera, this camera. Tell the people what you got going on in your life.
I just got engaged. Super excited for that. Shout out to Gabby, my loving fiance. Super excited for that. Can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you.
Same old for me. Just lift and run and enjoy life and live every second, every day like it's my last. Because maybe you don't wake up tomorrow. Gotta enjoy it.
Getting ready for assessment, sir.
Yeah, you are.
100%. That's my main focus right now, sir. Is getting prep week coming up in a week. Hopefully we get a lot of guys coming out for that, and I'm briefing assessment pretty soon.
And gals.
Ready to go.
And gals.
You got some pretty impressive female cadets in this organization.
Very true.
I want them to
I
come
challenge
out,
you to get them out there, especially when you got people like Carson Monaghan. I can tell them and show them how to do it. All right, gentlemen, well done. Everybody out there, I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. Have a phenomenal week. River Forge, stay classy.
Go Five.
Go Five.
Gotta go harder.
Boom. Awesome.